As we mentioned a couple of moments ago, the Earlham men's golf team off this week, and of course, hopefully the weather will break here pretty soon, and then we'll, of course, next week also talk about the Cup that'll be coming up on Sunday. Graham is joining us for a couple of moments. He just got out of class, hustled over here. We appreciate it very much. Good to see you again. How you been?
Pretty good, Troy. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to see you. Listen, I hate to keep bugging you guys about this weather thing, and you were kind of talking to me a little bit before back in Missouri what the spring is a little bit like there, but how do you guys do it mentally, knowing that I know I would be frustrated that I want to get outside and try to play the game the way I want to play it. It's fine downstairs, but it's not the same. So how do you deal with it?
Well, back home in Missouri during the winter and into the early spring, we would every now and then have weather like this, and I took it upon myself. I went out and played in these conditions. I believe if the wind chill was above 40, I would bundle up after school and go out there. And also got to give a lot of credit to my high school coach. He would make us play in these conditions because he wanted us to get used to this type of weather because tournaments won't get canceled if it's a little bit cold or a little bit rainy or a little bit windy. So he wanted us to play in everything to be ready for it. And Coach Gehring's done the same thing. Yeah. He all last week leading up to Terre Haute, he made us go out in the wind and the cold and the rain and practice or play or whatever just to get us ready. And I really do feel like that helped us a lot.
Yeah, mentally you've got to be pretty tough about it, right? I mean, I'd cry like a little baby if he made me go out. So how do you deal with that part of it and still try to play your best game?
I just really don't let it affect me. I kind of just try to keep a positive attitude because, especially at Terre Haute, I could tell that a lot of people didn't like being out there in that weather, even though it really didn't rain that much. They didn't like being out in that. And so, that mentally right there, golf's 90% mental. So if you're mentally not wanting to be there, more than likely your scores aren't going to show it. So that was kind of our rallying point this past week was just to kind of stay positive mentally, enjoy it. Friday we weren't in class, we got to go play golf, so it was really nice to that was pretty easy to keep a good positive outlook there. And then Saturday, I started off really well, and it was really easy to keep a positive mindset there because when you're playing well, you don't really feel like anything can stop you. So.
Yeah. You guys did play well last week, didn't you?
Yeah, we played really well. I believe we broke the 36-hole school record, and so that was that's a huge accomplishment for us. And we also tied our 18-hole record the first day shooting 304, and I feel like everyone really played well that day.
You guys are coming together, aren't you? I mean, it's been tough, yes, I understand that, but it seems like last week was kind of one of those maybe points where now we can look forward because of what you accomplished last weekend.
Yeah, I finally feel like we're all starting to round into form. Beginning of the year, I think we all, we had to knock the rust off a little bit at the beginning of the spring, kind of, get back in the swing of things. But, now I think, we're all kind of rounding into form. I feel like we're all last year was a first-year program. Mentally, you didn't really know what to expect. Even myself, I didn't really know what to expect. And I feel like this year, with the sophomores and even some of the freshmen coming up, they're already in that they're already mentally there and ready, partially because they've just been preparing for it and partially because, we as the sophomores have kind of seen what's happening and we can kind of get them ready as well.
Coach was talking about not just your game itself, but your leadership on this team. You've kind of taken that role a little bit, haven't you?
I try to be a leader. Personally, I just try to lead by example. My teammates will kind of say that I'm vocal. I'll let people hear it if they're not, if they're not doing something that I 100% agree with, whether it's their, work ethic or whatnot. But, I just try to lead by example. I go in the studio as much as I can. Class kind of prohibits that. Honestly, if it's, I'm tempted to go out to the course today if it's not too bad. But, I'm a little more, lead it by example. I help a lot of people out. If they're struggling with something, I'll tell them, hey, let's go to the putting green, and I'll sit there and feed them balls and, give them a second set of eyes because sometimes it's just the littlest things that can change it. So
I would imagine Coach appreciates that a lot, having another coach out there to kind of help out a little bit. And it's hard. I know they're your peers and everything, but you have expectations for yourself, and I would imagine you have expectations for your teammates.
Yeah, back in high school, I was blessed to be on a really good high school team that my senior year ended up going undefeated and won a state championship. And so, I kind of want to bring that here to college. I won in high school. I want to keep winning here. And, I know what it takes to be the best. And, a lot of people here do too. And I just really want to kind of impart that on them and, kind of have them believe in themselves as much as I believe in myself and I believe in this team.
You mentioned a little bit ago about, class does prohibit you from doing some things. We got to stop that. What's going to class at Earlham? What's that all about? But talk a little bit about the study side of things and how you've balanced that out over the first couple of years, and you're able now to take that and certainly use it to your benefit.
My deal is kind of I just kind of, when it's light out, I try to, especially when it's warm, when it's light out, I try to go to the golf course, and then when it gets dark, I would start to study. And in the winter, that actually really, it kind of changes. It kind of flips because I have the simulator. I try to get my homework done first and then go to the simulator because it is open until 11 o'clock at night. So,
sure.
Even if it takes me till 10 p.m. to get my homework done, I still have an hour down in the simulator. But especially when it's warm out, when the sun's out, I try to go out to the golf course and get my work in. And then when the sun goes down, that's when I kind of start studying and working on my schoolwork.
Yeah, you really got to learn how to balance all that, don't you? And there's times you don't. Let's face it, you have a social life and want to do some of that, but it's got to be a sacrifice someplace.
Yeah, I feel like I do a pretty good job balancing that out. I do feel like sometimes the social aspect kind of does get pushed out of the way, but I still do find time, to hang out with my teammates and hang out with my friends on other sports teams here. But yeah, there definitely does have to be some sacrifice on all ends, honestly, to keep that balance.
How much do you watch the Masters for the next few days? That kind of engulf you a little bit watching?
Oh, that's like my Christmas. No, yeah, I'll be watching the Masters as much as I can. So
good. All right, listen, we know who the coach likes. He likes Tiger. Do you care about Tiger? I mean, I'm sure you care about Tiger and what he does, but is he your favorite player? Or?
Growing up, yes. When he got injured, it kind of, you had to find someone else, and I kind of found Jordan Spieth. I liked him a lot. But, now that Tiger's back, it's kind of, old habits. I definitely want to see him win this week. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be nice. But, of course, now you didn't say that just because he said you wouldn't play next week.
No, he and I kind of, we seem to agree on the whole Tiger aspect of it. So, no, that was kind of a mutual agreement there.
Graham, good to see you again, sir.
Yeah,
listen, good luck the rest of the year, okay?
Thank you.
We'll look forward to seeing the scores here pretty soon. Of course, you get a little time off now before next Sunday, so you got a little chance to get some swings in and such. So we'll keep an eye on the Quakers men's and women's golf teams. By the way, you can also check out GoEarlham.com for all the latest information on Graham and the rest of the team. And we'll see you again next time right here on Inside Earlham College Golf on Radio Troy Digital Sports.